Today, guys, I'm going to be showing you the best fishing rods in the Second Sea and which ones I recommend using to make the most amount of money possible in the Second Sea. So I'm currently sitting at $12 million inside of the new update, and it took me probably up until this point since the update to get there, but that is before I knew the best rods and the best method to actually go ahead and do that. So let's go ahead and get right into this video. So the very first rod that I want to show you, and this is probably the one that I recommend overall out of the over the other rod that I'll show you in a second, but again, this one is the cheaper version, and I think it's better in my opinion. However, you can try both of them and see how it goes. They are a bit pricey, so just keep that in mind, but I'll show you which ones I think are the best. The first one, we're gonna have to go to the Isle of the Ancient Beginnings, or the New Beginnings, or whatever it's called. Isle of New Beginnings. Yeah, we're gonna go to this island right here, and we're gonna find a rod on here that I believe is pretty good. So jump off, and if you just head up the island over here, you're gonna see this angler, and then you're gonna see a rod right next to him. Now, you do have to have 70% of this best area completed, so if we go into it and we go to the Isle of New Beginnings, I do have 70% completed. I just don't have this fish yet. So 88.19 has been completed. So now I do have, I can purchase this now. So this is gonna be $200,000, and what this rod does is basically has a pretty overpowered passive. So I'm gonna go ahead and explain how this passive works. So basically, the free spirit rod is gonna have exceptionally high luck, but also have pretty good optimal resilience and control. All right. So the rod also has a 20% chance to activate its skeletal flowering passive, which will rain down purple gemstones from the air, applying the bloom mutation, which is pretty good. Now, probably wondering, what does the bloom mutation do? Well, the bloom mutation multiplies a fish sell value by 5 times. So this is actually really good because it's almost equivalent to, if you don't already know, this rod right here, the ethereal prism rod. This one has a ×9 sell value, but again, it's been nerfed in the new sea, so it's not as good. But this one is basically an equivalent to that, other than it being a ×5 sell value and not a ×9 sell value. The rod also has a stab ability similar to the Azure of the Lagoon and No Life rod that advances the minigame progress by 6%, which is going to ignore any debuffs in progress speed. So that is a super overpowered rod. I'll go ahead and show you what it looks like, a little bit of gameplay with it for a second, but then we're going to go on to the next rod, which I think is also really good. However, I still think this first rod may be better, and I'll leave that up to you guys to decide in the comments. So I'm going to go ahead and throw this in there. It's what everyone, it looks like, or a lot of people over here are actually using. So looks like they're also catching turtles and stuff over here. I didn't even know you could catch those. All right, so we just got the gem raining effect. As you guys can see, we just got the gem raining effect, so we should actually have the there we go. So some of these should have the bloom mutation on them. Oh yeah, so these all have the bloom mutation on them, and as you can see, they're kind of like this color, kind of like the gemstone right there. So that is how the bloom mutation works, and that's kind of that rod right there. Now we're gonna go ahead and get into the next rod, which again, some people would argue is better. Personally, I don't think it is, but I'll leave it up for you guys to decide. So I'm gonna spawn in a ship, and we're gonna go over and take a look at this rod and all of its stats, so you guys know how to get it if you're interested in getting it. Alrighty, so we're gonna go ahead and get over to the Cursed Island. I don't remember what it's called. Yeah, it's right there. It's called the Cursed Shores. The Cursed Shores. That's where we're gonna go for the next rod. If you guys already know about this rod, I want to explain the passive because it's kind of confusing, but these definitely are the best 2 rods in the game. I don't know which one would be better. I think personally this one is, but we're gonna go check this other rod out. So we climb up this tower right here, and then we're gonna head over across this bridge right here. Now, once we're across this bridge, you can see that little NPC over there, and that's where we're going. We're gonna go meet up with that NPC, and we're gonna go ahead and climb up this tower right here. All right, so let me run over here really fast and then climb up the tower, and that's where we're gonna get the next rod. All right, so we're up here. This rod goes for around 500,000. There's no special thing that you need to buy it. However, I believe that the passive is not as good as the other one. So let me go ahead and show you. This is the Great Dreamer rod. All right, so here's how this rod works. This offers the 3rd highest lure speed out of any of the Second Sea rods, with really good resilience and control. The rod's high weight limit and relatively high luck will make this a great rod for harder to catch and bigger fish. It does have a similar passive to the Rod of the Depths, in which the rod will summon a Cthulhu and swoop down and catch a fish for the player every 3rd catch on average. There's a 5% chance of the cursed mutation being applied, and the cursed touch mutation multiplies the fish by sell value of 5 times. However, the other rod I just showed you has a 20% chance, which is, I feel like, a lot higher. I don't think I have any with the cursed mutation on it, but again, you have a 5% chance for a 5 times sell value with this rod, but with the other rod, you have a 5% chance or 20% chance with a 5 times sell value. So you have a higher odd, and if you're trying to make more money faster, again, that would be it. Now, again, if you're trying to catch as many fish as possible, I mean, it really just depends. I feel like it's kind of a toss-up right now, which one's actually a better rod. Yeah, if you guys did enjoy this video, though, please make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one.